What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What kind of ignorant shit is that?
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
You idiot, you fool!
Hey, dummy!
This is the Ignorance is Blessed podcast.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Hey idiots, welcome back to Ignorance is Blessed, the podcast that attempts to overcome ignorance, mostly by asking ignorant questions. I'm Jessica Michelle Singleton. You can call me JMS. You can call me whatever you want. I can't hear you. I'm your host. I'm a comedian, and I'm ignorant. I don't know a fucking thing, and that's why we're here. If you're new to the podcast, please go hit that subscribe button. Give it a rating, a review. It helps other people find the podcast. I love reading your reviews. It helps me. I would love to get more. I would love for this to keep growing, as it has been. Thank you to everyone who has been here the whole time. Thank you to the new subscribers and reviewers. Shout out to my best idiots forever, Gene and Kathy, over on Patreon. That's my top level of patrons, patreon.com/ignoranceisblessed. You can join for as little as $1 a month and get bonus content, get most of the podcasts released early, uncut, and more as you go up the old pipeline. If you want to see me live, this week, I am in Europe. Wednesday, I will be in Bern, Switzerland. And Thursday, you can see me in Zurich. That'll be a lot of fun. I've done that city before. That show's always a good time. Head over to Zurich if you're in Europe. You can come Thursday. It's a quick flight from wherever you are. Probably not too expensive, I've noticed. Luzern, Switzerland on the 24th. Zug. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But Saturday, I'm in Zug, Z-U-G. And then Basel on Sunday the 26th, and then popping over to Paris to do a spot at Pan Am Art Cafe on the 28th, which is next Tuesday. I will remind you on the next podcast if I remember. But enough about where I'm going to be. Let's dive in. This week's guest is Ryan Connor, an incredible comedian with an incredible life, family dynamic. He has 11 brothers, and they range in backgrounds from Vietnamese, Chinese, black, white. What a household. In his words, his family portrait looks like a college brochure. Which politician helped save his brother from getting inappropriately deported? More about all that and just growing up in a household like that, how that happens, how that shapes you. It was a great podcast. I'm not going to waste any more time. His album was just re-released. Go check that out. And enjoy Ryan Connor. Roll with it. We can have fun. Oh, we're going. Oops. Hey, idiots. Wow, I've been doing this for how long? And I still go like, it's working. You guys, I'm here with Ryan Connor. Amazing, funny comedian. Great dude. I'm building you up. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
When did we met? Like years ago at
probably
was it a festival? No, a show.
It was probably like right when I moved to LA.
Okay,
I've been here for 7 years, so it was within that first year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really a festival guy. I've only done 2
it must have been a
festivals
show
ever.
Then. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't place everybody.
I guess I've done more than that, but not a lot of festivals.
Yeah. Well, I just remember.
Yeah.
From like first seeing you, which is what we're gonna dive into, but like, your jokes about your family are so. I don't know if this has been like beaten to death on your end. If everyone's like, you gotta tell me about this.
No, not usually. Like industry people want to hear about it. Most comics don't ask about it.
That's so funny.
You're so industry.
I'm so industry. I feel like that's such an industry thing too, to be like, oh, diversity. How can we pluck that apart? Let's exploit it as much as we can.
Yeah. And you're the white guy? Perfect.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You should write a sitcom called Black Dad. And they're like, what? I don't. Okay. Where it's like, I have so.
But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever been like. No, I don't think I've ever really talked about it on a podcast.
Wow.
No, I think I don't.
Okay, well, let's fill people in a little bit.
All right.
Tell me about like your family dynamic, like brothers, sisters, parents.
Right. So I have 11 brothers.
Yes.
Also, it's all made up. No, I'm just kidding.
That would be. I had that thought of like, what if
How
this is just like a
be?
bit that he has, and it's like.
Dude, anytime I talk about it on stage though, like if it's like for like a on the road or whatever.
People always ask.
Every show, at least one person will say, "Is that stuff true?" Like, what kind of psychopath would make up an entire like origin story?
Yeah, but it's probably somebody.
Like, to what end? What would be the point of that? Like, where would you start? How would you start to get into that? And at what point wouldn't you decide, "Hold on, this has gone too far"? Or
how do you keep up the lie?
Yeah.
And you have to name all of those siblings?
So absurd. Yeah, that I would make it up.
Well, I mean, people ask me that about small petty stuff, but it's crazy to me that something as big as such a specific.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, no. If I was gonna make it up, I'd probably be more vague.
Yeah.
I don't know, but who would do that?
Exactly. And anytime like comics make shit up for stage, it's just a slant on something that actually happened.
Yeah, it's like maybe
or
a
some
heightened
fever dream.
Yeah. Oh God. For real. Yeah, it is. There have been one or two instances where I've met people who, and it's never been like hugely successful comedians, but like I'll find out the bits are like, oh, I just made that up, and it's like, are you lying to me because you're embarrassed that it's true?
Yeah.
Or are you insane?
Yeah. The one that I think it's one of the greatest jokes ever. I was so surprised that it was made up was Gary Goldman's thing about the documentary.
He was never depressed.
No, not that one. The documentary about the state abbreviations. Do you know that bit?
No.
He did it on Conan. It's one of the greatest jokes ever.
Wow.
It's about a Netflix documentary about how the state abbreviation names came about.
He made up the documentary?
Yeah, and it's the funny. He has characters in it and stuff. It's the funniest thing ever.
That's so funny.
And then I don't remember if I think I asked him after. I was like, dude, I can't find this documentary or something. He's like, nah, I made it up. It was a joke he crafted for like 10 years or something like that. So
it's just like he had an idea of wouldn't it be funny if, and then he just presents it as.
It was multiple ideas. Like, it was like, how funny, like, what would it have been like coming up with these like the idea that there was some sort of a consortium to figure out what they would be. And then it's like, well, how would we have the in on that? There's a documentary. And then, like, what would that documentary have to be compelling? I mean, Garrett, that's conjecture from me, the last couple parts. But
of course.
But
that's just
it sounds like that's how we arrived at it. It's incredible joke.
That's fascinating. When I mean, just from a purely joke writing perspective, like I can super appreciate the creativity of someone going. Because I feel like that is almost not that specifically, but the sort of premise generation of what would happen if fucking this was a thing, but then to take it to making it. Wow.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves in comedy. Oh, the what ifs. It's like just write for an animated show. All right, that's just.
Wouldn't it be crazy? Yeah. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it would. It really would.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm of the same way. And well, that's why like your stuff stuck out to me is I like hearing things where it's like someone's personal life or like personal experience, even if it's just like, because I love dirty material. I'm a pretty dirty comedian, but like when you hear a story that's like someone's like legit embarrassing, like, oh my God. But just, I think it's so easy to look at anyone and try to assume like what's going on.
In my head right now,
yes.
Just the fact that the dirty comedian and the embarrassing thing, it just triggered a memory of mine.
Oh, wait, you have to tell everyone now. Yes, tell us.
It was a joke. I recently was just asked like, what was like an embarrassing moment. I couldn't come up with it. I don't really get embarrassed.
You've just never been embarrassed.
Like, I do things all the time. I think it would be embarrassing to other people, but I don't care.
I think that's half of being a comedian is just having like not caring as much.
And I just remembered that I did this joke for a lot. I mean, I still like the joke, but I don't know. I just don't do a lot of like dirt. I do like dirty subject material, but then like not necessarily like too graphic. But the story was well, okay. Hold on, let me see if I can remember the way I worded it. Fuck. I can't remember how I worded it. It's a funny joke. It was just the idea of like coming on someone's face, and I was like, I did it one time, and it changed my life because I came on my own face. And
and it was like,
and I describe how it landed on my lips.
Oh no.
And then my description of the amount was like, it was enough to drown 7 or 8 ants. And I just realized that didn't embarrass me. Yeah. Telling that to rooms full of strangers.
I mean, it's fascinating how many people with my stuff have been like, you're so vulnerable. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just missing a part of my brain.
Right.
Because I'm like, yeah, I guess. I don't go up there and go, I'm going to tell this story again. You know?
Right. It's just, these are things.
It's just, it just happened. Who gives a shit, I guess now.
Who would care about, why would you put any weight in the past?
That's true. I will say the ones that I guess would be the most embarrassing, like I have one bit that's very dirty and it's based on a true story and it's very embarrassing. I mean, the gist of it is that in bed, a man called me a filthy pig. And it took me 2 years to ever talk about it on stage. And then one night at the Comedy Store, I just started riffing about it. I'm like, why have I not made this a bit?
A filthy pig.
Because I kind of was just like, I tucked it away as like, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
That sucked. And then now it's become this whole big bit. So I guess maybe I don't even realize how much I'm just tragedy plus timing my own sexual.
Yeah.
I don't even call them trauma. It's just like blunders. It's just like, whoops.
What would be worse, the filthy pig or a girl? And I this isn't a joke of mine, but a girl told me to insult her. And
you're such a nice. Was that awkward? Because you're such a nice, seemed like a nice dude.
So here's what I said, and this is in the joke, by the way. She was an economist, so we're having sex, and I said, "You didn't see the housing bubble coming, you dumbass." Fucking over.
She's like, okay, that's not.
Yeah, it was like, all right, let's just don't talk. We'll just not talk.
That's so funny. Well, and that plays into the premise that joke is based around, that if you're a woman who likes degrading dirty talk and you have sex with men, you've got to be specific.
Yeah, you got to look.
Men aren't going to get creative with their dick in something. You know what I mean?
Right. Paint by numbers.
Yeah, just like, give them a list. You know, here are the key phrases, and don't you stray from that.
I think any guy will do whatever.
Yeah.
We're all up for whatever.
It's like, just tell me what you want, but like you have to tell them.
Yeah. Or else it's going to get weird.
Yeah. If they're just left to their own devices. Yeah. I mean, clearly. Yeah. You didn't see that housing bubble.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
I mean, it felt like an insult. She had a PhD in it.
You're like, I got her. And she's like, okay, this actually tore up my character.
Yeah, it's like not like an intellectual insult, please.
Yeah, no, I just want to be called like a slut.
Call me a whore.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah.
But don't insult my living.
Yeah, and it's like I can jokingly call my friends a whore.
Yeah.
I can't call you a whore now.
I don't have money to pay you.
Yeah, you got to tell me explicitly it's okay for you to call me a whore. I want you to call me this.
You need clear consent.
Are you sure you aren't going to take this personally? We're not going to be having breakfast, and you go,
you don't really think I'm a whore, do you?
Right.
That's,
so about my mother.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into okay, so first of all, 11 brothers.
11, right.
How does this happen?
So, parents got divorced when I was 2.
Yeah.
Mom and stepdad started dating soon after. It's probably 3 or 4.
She just was ready to get out there, find new love.
Yeah. As was my dad. It was I think they both probably hung on to the marriage longer than they should because of kids.
They tried. Yeah.
So
I brush divorce under the right. Yeah, move along. We've all been divorced or whatever.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them. I understand. When you want to get to the next thing, because the thing with divorce, like with a breakup, it can take a while.
Yeah.
Because if you got a long-term relationship, you break up when you decide you should break up.
Yeah.
You get a divorce years after you wanted a divorce.
Yeah, it's this ongoing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So once it happens, you're like, no, you don't understand. That's way behind me.
Yeah, you're like, I recovered from this years ago.
Yeah, unless you got blindsided or something. You're just like, yeah, fuck, yeah,
I'm free. Yeah. Makes sense.
So all right. So they started dating. My stepdad had 2 kids.
Okay.
Who my stepbrothers, Alan and Brent. Okay. I had my biological brother's name is Brent also. And the 2 Brents are the same age.
Wow.
And my black brother's name is Brent White. So
what? Okay, so your stepdad's last name is White.
White, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Brent White.
Brent White, White Brent. and they're the same age.
Hilarious. And was it just you and one biological brother at this
Yeah,
point?
me and one biological brother,
Okay.
then Alan and Brent. But we didn't live together until high school.
Okay.
Because my mom and stepdad didn't get married until I was in 7th grade.
Okay. So
When I say high school, when he was in high school, I was in 7th grade.
Okay.
So they were dating that time. Didn't get married for a long time.
Sinners.
No, no, it's actually a lovely story.
Aw.
So you want to hear it? So
Yes.
So dating for years, 7 years, and I would assume they were going to get married anytime. My stepdad got laid off. We lived in a small town.
Aw.
He got laid off, and this was like in Southern Virginia, and he was like, I have to move to DC for a better job so I can support my kids, because his kids were living with their mother at the time.
Yeah.
And he also wanted to be closer to his kids who were in Richmond, which is only an hour and a half from DC.
Yeah.
So my mom was like, we'll move with you. And my stepdad was like, I can't tear you away from your family because your whole
She's
whole
like,
family's
who
done."
cares?
Practically. Well, but my stepdad just felt too guilty. He was like, I just can't do that to you. And then they just had to not talk at all because they were so in love with each other that they
couldn't be together, so it was like so devastating.
Yeah, so they couldn't talk.
And
then it got to the point where my mom said she'd finally gotten to the point where she wasn't just thinking about him every day, like 2 years, right?
Wow.
And then I remember the call comes. I answered the phone one night right before we ate dinner, and it was Alan. And he's like, hi. We talked for a second. He said, is Debbie there?
Like, you son of a bitch.
And I turned to Mom. I was like, Mom, Alan's on the phone. She's like, what?
Oh, God. And she's like, I'm just starting to be okay.
And she talks to him, and then 20 minutes later, she's like, I'm going to D.C. this weekend to see Alan, so you'll be with your grandparents. And she comes back 2 days later, and we're engaged. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
Yeah,
They were so in love.
Yeah. He proposed like right when she got there.
Like he knew that he fucked up probably and was like, I shouldn't have let you almost get away.
It was incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to cry. That's so cute.
Yeah. Can you imagine not seeing someone for a couple of years and proposing to them as soon as you see them?
I mean, it's a beautiful story.
It's
But
also ballsy.
Yeah. Because it's like, she could have been like, are you out of your fucking mind, Alan?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Right. So then, they got married just a few months later. We moved to DC.
Wow.
But by this point, I already had 2 other brothers.
Oh, from where?
So my half brother, Jasper.
Okay. Because your dad also.
Yeah. Yes. So
remarried.
he was born when I was 6 or 7 when he was born.
Okay.
And then my oldest adopted brother, Oak, from Vietnam.
Oat?
Oak.
Oh, Oak.
There's no way to really pronounce it in English. There's no English phonetics.
Oh, okay.
It's spelled UT, and it's a Cambodian name.
Oh, but it's like oak.
Yeah, in Vietnam they say Oot, but in Cambodia it's pronounced Oak.
Okay.
It's like between a T and a K. So we say Oak, and it's do you see it's not a T or a K? We say
it's just
Oak.
sort of like a sound.
Yeah. Hey, Oak. And we
Yeah.
just kind of stop. You get to the consonant and then you stop.
And he's that's his name. He still
Oak.
goes by that.
Yeah. Oak.
God, what a pain in the ass he must go through with explaining to.
People just call him Oak, Oat. People just call him whatever, and he responds to it.
And he's like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, the family knows it. That's all that matters.
And he's older than you?
Yeah, he's 45.
Okay.
Yeah, I just turned 39.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So there was a half brother and then an adopted brother from your dad's new situation.
So then my mom and stepdad get married, and we all moved to D.C. And then, we're all together in the house, and then within 2 years, I have 2 more brothers.
Hello.
Yeah.
Not wasting any time.
No. So first is my brother Dong, which it's his last name, Sun Tao Dong. He's Chinese.
Oh, okay, so this is adopted.
Yeah.
I was like, they got right to that paperwork.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years.
If he wasn't, how amazing that'd be if they had an American kid named him Dong.
I mean, bold. Good God. If your name was Dong Connor, can you imagine trying to do comedy? And you're like, listen, I know.
Can we get to the topics I want to talk about?
I didn't make it up.
Yeah. I'd be one of those comics who gets on stage and goes, my name is Dong. I don't look like a dong. A dong looks like...
Yeah.
Oh, man, we've
You'd
heard
have
it.
to.
We've heard it,
I mean,
buddy.
my God.
You do have to address it, though.
I mean,
that's your name.
if Dong is you got to say something.
That's why you go by the middle name or your mom's maiden name, that kind of shit.
Have some shame. There were people, when I was doing open mics really early on, there was a couple people who had like fake names just for those types of jokes. And I'm like,
That's bananas.
you've just made up a fake last name. So you could go, isn't this crazy?
Yeah.
I've
That's
had
so
people
crazy.
ask if my last name was the stage name because my
Why
last
would it
name's
be-
Singleton. And
Why
they'll
would
be
that
like,
be a...
well, that's what I think too. And they're like, well, because like you're so alone. And I was like,
Holy fuck. They baked an insult into that
yeah.
question?
But it was like a genuine, and I was like, no. Like they thought it was just like,
I thought it was like a John Singleton thing, like you're John Singleton's adopted daughter or something.
I, by the way, told people that in high school, and
Hilarious.
they believed me. And I was like, what? No. Like,
Hilarious.
fucking, my real dad's name was John, but like, I just...
For fuck's sake.
And that someone thought that I was like, I'm just going to commit to being this, like, I can't date anyone for the rest of my life.
Oh my God. And then you go by Jessica coupled up later?
Yeah, Jessica married.
Oh my
Jessica
God.
divorcee.
Oh my God.
Like, Jesus.
What a fucking weird insult.
I know.
Because you're so single, right?
And I'm like,
Huh?
oh, this hurts in a weird way.
Yeah. Oh,
Ah,
that's brutal.
it's a slave name.
The only good made up name I've ever heard. This dude, I was pretty new, and we were doing the show in Baltimore. This guy, he was a Richmond-based comic, and you go there. And there's a marquee at this place. It was called Jillian's. It was like Dave and Buster's.
Oh,
but they had a performance room. It was the worst crowds you could
it's
imagine.
just hell. People
Idiots.
escaping their kids.
Fucking idiots. All right. And my name's under his name on the marquee. His name is Odyssey Michaels. And I'm just thinking, I can't call you Odyssey. This is a friend of mine now, by the way. I'm like, I can't call someone Odyssey. So I start talking. I was like, so what's your real name, man? 'Cause even if somebody tells me to call them something that's a nickname,
You're like, yeah, but who are you?
usually I'll just say, what does your mother call you?
Yeah.
I'm not doing this game.
I'm not.
All right, I'm
no.
not calling you Flip or some shit.
Flip. Ah!
And he goes, he's like, my real name is Michael Jackson. I was like, all right, fine. You
That's
can
fair.
use whatever you want as a stage name. Call
God.
yourself anything you want to call yourself.
Yeah, because I mean, there are instances like that. There's a comedian, Tom Takar, who used to be. His name's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's what do you do?
You're gonna be on the 1,000th Google page. That's your peak.
Yeah.
If your name is Tom Brady.
Ever.
Yeah.
I met a girl at an open mic when I was starting who. Her name was Lori Kilmartin, and she was not Lori Kilmartin. And I was like,
no.
And I was like, you have to not do that.
What a rare name too to
Yeah.
have the same name as.
She was kind of, I don't know. I think that because she literally was like, well, maybe someone will book me by mistake and then I'll get. And I was like, that's insane.
Well, that's not going to pay off.
Yeah, I was like, that's going to hurt you very bad.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like,
Yeah.
Lori, the Lori Kilmartin
Yeah.
duped us and
Yeah.
sent this. Like, no, they're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong
It's not a
with you?
long-term plan.
Yeah, it's. I think I've seen her pop up on social media going by like Lori Marie or something now, and I'm like, okay, well,
Okay, that's a little better.
figured it out, I guess.
I think it's
It's hard.
I don't know. If I don't have like a TV show pop in the next couple of years, I'm changing my name to OJ Simpson just to see.
I mean, fuck it. Who cares? Do you know if there's a porn star with your name?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you obviously know that. You have.
She and I are in contact, actually.
Yeah. Is that her real name?
No, her real name is my mom's name. Believe it or not.
That's fucking hilarious.
Isn't that disturbing?
That's horrifying.
Different last name, but
Yeah,
when I found out her first name is actually Debbie, I was like, oh, this couldn't be worse in any way.
Like, this is my living nightmare.
Yeah, because people are always like, you ever jerk off to her? I'm like, no, I can't because she has my first. I mean, look, not my type. One,
Yeah.
but also like she has my name and her real name is my mother's name. No,
Like, I know we've had like a conversation with her. I can't. It's like a very weird. You have
Yeah.
a type?
No, I don't have a type.
Okay, I was like, I wonder how your family dynamic plays into you having a type.
No, I don't understand the whole type thing.
Me neither. If you lined up everyone I've ever like had a crush on or anything, it makes no
Yeah.
sense visually. It seems like if you have a type, you have a fetish. Although I will
Yeah.
say I seem to date more Jewish men than anyone else, but it could just be proximity.
Yeah.
Living in Los Angeles.
For a while, I noticed everyone I would like match with on dating sites would have masters in social work.
That's so. My type is people who want to fix people.
Yeah.
People
yeah.
who care.
That and lawyers who work for monstrous causes.
That's incredible. Oh my God. I mean, everyone else I know is like, I just keep matching with actresses. You know? And I'm like,
Oh yeah, at least I didn't get that.
good God. I mean,
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare, to be
master's in
honest.
social work. They're like, I want to come in and examine your family. And you're like, it's a little late.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Wait, so there was Dom.
All right, yeah. So Don comes in. So he was one of the people who you like. Every now and then you hear people get smuggled in on boats. He was one of those people. He was in this boat. I forgot how many people he told me, but like 50 to 75 people in this little boat. They flew to, I want to say Guatemala, some Central American country from China, and then they get put on this boat that's made for like 10 people. They're under the surface for a few days as they make their way up to the U.S. They got intercepted off of New Orleans somewhere.
Oh my God.
By it was either Coast Guard or Port Authority, one of the two. Instead of doing an instant deportation order, whoever's the commanding officer had a heart, calls Catholic Charities, which is who my parents worked with.
Wow.
We housed 3 of them for a little while. And then Dong stayed, and two of the guys, one whom we still stay in touch with. Yeah, they found other homes. Dong had this crazy immigration story. Yeah, he. I mean, the short of it is, so he came in '94. In 2008, yeah. 2008, at this point, he had a green card and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And no, he didn't have a green card. I'm sorry. He had an H-1B visa, and he was approved for a green card.
Okay.
And he had multiple, like, he couldn't get college, like, bachelor degrees, but he had multiple, like, every professional degree you could get for certifications.
Type of thing.
It was all like networking stuff, like all the Cisco certifications and stuff like that.
Okay.
But because of his immigration status, he couldn't go to a regular 4-year school.
That sucks.
Or yeah, because like our family, it's not like our parents could just pay for our.
Well,
we all did college loans and stuff. You know.
I mean, that many kids. That's fucking.
Yeah. So immigration just picks him up one morning, and they're like, "You're deported. You're gone." And he's like, "I have my H-1B stuff here." They're like, "We have this order from '94." They pick him up. So this long thing. He's held for. He ended up being held for a few weeks. Our family's scrambling. Luckily, being from D.C. and performing in D.C., I knew a lot of people in politics. Got a lot of help. The people who came through in the end were Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden.
Like legit?
Legit, like them, yes.
Them specifically.
Yeah, they got Benny Thompson, who was the chair of the, or he was at least the Democratic counterpart of the, whichever subcommittee in the House that oversaw immigration, right?
Fuck.
So the 3 of them got him out, and they were like, yeah, this is an old expired order, and they were trying to deport him. It kept getting held up. First, the lawyer kept getting stays.
Whoa.
The lawyer kept getting these stays, and also China, luckily, because the Olympics were coming up. This is right before the Olympics. They weren't repatriating people because of their human rights record. They didn't want light to be drawn onto that because people would always be sentenced to 3 years in these re-education camps, which are coal mines, and most people would die by the end of that time. So our family's just panicked about this, and then it finally comes through with the help of them. We contacted so many people in Congress.
God for
and the crazy.
And that's just the thing that like the immigration was like doing. That they're just like.
Yeah, it was a paperwork error.
Oh, it was just.
That's
like
what they said. It was a paperwork error.
You don't think they were like going through and like just fucking people over?
No, it was a paperwork. It was a paperwork error. They said, "Oh shit, we missed that." And he's a U.S. citizen now. Yeah, it was a paperwork error. The only people who stepped up, we talked to so many. We talked to our own reps. We some of us live in different states. We all called our own reps, and we called our senators. Everyone, no one would help. I fucking yelled at a congressman one time.
I mean, yeah.
And
fuck them.
Yeah, the White House. This was the Bush White House. Wanted out. A friend of mine was a speechwriter for Bush.
Whoa,
and
that's crazy.
Yeah, and he like we met like just from me doing shows, and he's a big comedy fan. He would come out, and he and I talk when I go to DC. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, he seems like he's. I mean, I know people hate for me to say that, but like. The speechwriter or Bush?
The speechwriter.
Oh, I was like, I didn't agree. I think his politics were terrible.
Yeah.
I get that he definitely won on the who do you want to have a beer with thing.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I mean, the same thing. I think Bush is probably a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Who
I
just,
was like, if you had just never gotten
I don't
into
like his
I
politics.
would never think that you were a piece of shit.
Yeah. And by all accounts, especially from my friend John, who's the speechwriter, like he's a great guy. But yeah, so John called. He was like, I want to put this on the president's desk, but I have to go through the Office of Legal Counsel just to make sure this isn't going to be some sort of an ethics thing. OLC said that actually is an ethics thing. So he said, well, the person in Congress who always takes this stuff on is Hillary Clinton. Call Hillary.
Call Hillary.
So we had no in at Hillary's office.
No.
My mom, I knew someone in Biden's office. So I call Biden's office. My mom calls Hillary's office. Both of them are just like, yes, immediately. And this is during the 2008 campaign. They're both on it. The chief of staff of Biden's office.
You're like, oh yeah.
I'm talking to them like once or twice a day. They're just
probably the best time to get immigration questions because like this is gonna help if this gets out.
and then neither one of them talked about it. They could have easily talked about it. They could have milked it.
That's so great to hear that they
could have milked it. They did
without
not.
hesitation. Or like absolutely.
Instantly.
It does speak miles to, I think, who ends up rising to that level in politicians. Is that like, well, maybe there's a reason that they got to where they are.
That's a very good point.
I mean, politics gives me a fucking headache.
Yeah.
Fucking God. So they saved Dong. We
they
didn't
saved
have to
Dong.
do a hashtag save Dong.
Save Dong. And then Fong.
Okay.
I swear to God. So Fong's Vietnamese.
Okay, so they're not related.
Not related.
Dong's Chinese. Okay.
Dong's Chinese.
Vietnamese. There's
Fong's first name. Dong's the last name. Sun Tao Dong. Phong Tran.
Okay.
So
Phong Tran, such a Vietnamese name.
Oh yeah. It's as Vietnamese as it gets.
Yeah.
So then the next year, do you know why like most Vietnamese people are named Tran or Nguyen? There were two families. There were like two.
They're just
elite families, ruling families, and people just chose. At one point.
Are you
with the trans or the Nguyen's?
And you just pick. Oh, that's so.
Yeah, that's why.
Who are the hoes?
Fuck, I don't know who the hoes are. And the lambs. Lamb is another big one.
I had a kid named Jimmy Ho in my.
Yeah.
Which of course that poor man. Just the.
It's not a good one.
Fucking middle school. Woof. Rough.
That's probably even rough in Vietnam. They'd be like, well, you know what that means in English?
Yeah, right. And like, oh no. Wait, so you had Vietnamese.
2 Vietnamese, 1 Chinese.
But are the Vietnamese adopted in different families? Like
your
dad's family?
No, all my mom's side.
Oh, all on your mom's side.
This is all my mom's side.
You grew up Catholic?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And we also sponsored a bunch of families, which is like a family's coming and they have no connections to the States. So they would stay with us for a couple weeks, sometimes a month. I found out after, like once I was when I say once I was an adult, I'm 39. I found this out 2 years ago.
I was really into
that they would be with us for like a month sometimes. And that was because no one would rent to them.
Oh, because they were
immigrants who didn't speak any English and stuff like that. And they couldn't, and then,
so
especially when we lived in the South at the time, she's like, they would try to get this house, and this is like Catholic Charities would raise the money to pay for their first few months of rent, and like
people would
all the money's there. They would have jobs for everybody, for the adults and stuff. And they're like, they're gonna eat our dogs. It's like, well, they're not gonna. No, it's not gonna. No one's dog's gonna get eaten.
Your dogs are fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, they would stay with us as the kid. We would help the kids with school until they'd been in the States for a year, and then they'd help us.
Teach us math. Teach us anything.
Yeah.
What are we not learning?
Yeah. And then we're all out of the house. We're adults at this point. My parents want to adopt one girl.
Now they want to?
Well, no. This was in 2002.
Okay. Yeah.
I was the youngest, aside from the youngest on my mom's side.
Okay.
I had my half brother's younger than me, but he was on my dad's side. So I was the youngest. Once I graduated from college in 2002, they were like, let's adopt one girl. We've never had a girl.
I did think that was very surprising that they never had girls.
Yeah. Well, so what it is
girls don't get out.
It's chance for some of it. And then with refugees, most girls who are refugees are coming with their families.
Okay.
But
boys are just like, good luck.
Get the fuck out of there. Yeah. You got a dick figured out.
Yeah. Man up.
Yeah.
That's toxic masculinity built your family.
Absolutely. Yeah, girls are not sent out on their own at 10 to try to find their way. Like Oak was, was he 11 or 12 when he was sent out to find his way from Vietnam to Thailand. He was on the East Coast, the Mekong Delta, like southeast of the country, a village called Bac Lieu. He had to get from there to Thailand. See, like there was a guide at first, but then they got arrested.
And then he was just alone.
And he got out, and they were like, "We won't do anything to you if you go back home." That's what the VC
sure
said.
Thing.
And then he was like, "Go west," and he just starts going west. He ends up finding people. Takes them a year of sleeping in little dugouts, and, eating bugs and shit.
What
and
a badass!
Ends up making it, yeah. And he ended up finding a group once he got to the Cambodian border.
Shit.
He found there was like an underground guide, and he was with a group of, I think it was about 10 people. But at this point, the Khmer Rouge, they just want to murder you. It's not like the Viet Cong. The Viet Cong is like this police who I think felt conflicted that they're like
they have a job, but they
yeah exactly. Like you're gonna have some evil people, but I don't think that they generally want to fucking kill their countrymen.
Yeah.
But
especially children.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then he said, but the Khmer Rouge were brutal.
And is that Cambodian?
Yeah, exactly.
That's their equivalent of what, border patrol?
No, that's their equivalent of fucking ISIS.
Fuck, okay. Well, that shows what I know.
So, yeah.
Is it not the same thing?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Is that their Mounties?
No.
Is that like their mount? So they were on the Moose.
Is that their mall security?
So picture 1,000,000 Paul Blarts. Yeah. So they had to navigate the killing fields, which are like the mine fields and stuff like that.
Fuck.
He said you just walk and you just had to have the confidence. And like someone would be in the front who knew the path, but who knows if they really know the path.
You're going to find out. You just have to trust them.
Yeah. And they would be sleeping at night. Khmer Rouge would be on patrol, and they would be in like dugouts and stuff like that.
Fuck. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Knowing this. Did it make it hard for you to complain growing up?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Of course.
It's like, I had a bad day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like,
which is something I didn't even realize until the past few years. That like I've never complained about anything in my life.
And you're like, oh, because I'd sound like a fucking dick.
Yeah.
You're entitled to your pain, Ryan.
Well, it's all relative. It's like, look, I know you got shot at, but this immersion blender is giving me a real hard time.
I am really struggling to make this pour over coffee.
Yeah.
What about that's so funny. I try to do that like in comparison to my brother's like drug addiction with me being like, well, what about me? I'm addicted to food. And it's
different, isn't it?
So
it turns out it's different.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Wow, 11.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, what happened with
So they're going to adopt a girl. Mm-hmm. And at this point, my parents are a little older, and they had to go back through adoption classes, and then you end up doing these like mixers, right? Where it's like family. So they saw this thing on 60 Minutes, Dateline, some shit like that, where they're like, girls between, I think it's 11 and 14 have the hardest time finding a home. Oh. So they want to adopt a girl in that age range.
Fucking little bitches on their period.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. They're like, God. Like the new to tampons?
Yeah, oh, God.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't deal with this.
God.
So they were like, they're at these like adoption mixer things, and they kind of gave up because they thought that the girls had been through so much. They're like, they need younger parents with more energy
to like attend to like, because I'm sure they have so much trauma and,
yeah, so they gave up. And then my stepdad was like, he just like wandered off to the bathroom, met this kid who like really struck up a nice conversation with him. Seemed like a really nice kid.
Adopted a boy.
And then they found out that they found out that he had 3 brothers, so they adopted all 4 of them. Turns out they'd been through even more than these girls, but we didn't know that at the time. I mean, they still would have done it, I think. But
we are giving up on women.
Yeah.
So then you got like 4 new little young brothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then may I ask, you do it in your bit, but what is the racial breakdown?
So it's 6 are black overall, 2 Vietnamese, 1 Chinese, and then I have 2 white brothers.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a mix.
Yeah. And I'm Latino. If you guys don't know,
If you can't tell by just the sound of his
sound of my voice
sultry
and my picture.
I think it's very obvious.
Yeah,
Latino,
yeah.
If you look at your photo, are there? So growing up, I think this is such a stupid question, but the food you ate in your house.
Super Vietnamese.
Okay, I was wondering if like it leaned towards something.
Huge Vietnamese. Well, it was like a Southern and Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Which is the way it still is. Like at Christmas,
You guys could
Thanksgiving.
probably make a badass like fusion restaurant if you wanted.
Oh my God, Vietnamese Southern. Fuck yeah. You're right. Yeah. So like normally it'll be, say like Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yeah.
The main course stuff will just be like American Southern, or like, which I guess is just Americanized French food, really.
Yeah.
And then
Fried chicken.
yeah, French chicken, and then
Biscuits.
and then appetizers and stuff. Always Vietnamese. Nothing but Vietnamese
funny.
food. Yeah.
That's just so interesting to me.
Very little Chinese food for some reason. But tons of Vietnamese.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Dong's about to get married though. And maybe his
wife.
His wife is going to throw in some.
Is she Chinese?
Yeah.
How'd they meet?
Work. He works so now he lives in Seattle, but he goes to China for work all the time, and he met her there actually.
That's so cute.
Yeah. He met her in I want to say they met in Taiwan, but now she's in Shanghai and she's moving here in a couple months.
Oh, have you met her yet? Or
No. She hasn't been to the States yet.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
he's
so
just
exciting.
there all the time. And
Does he speak?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because he was like pretty old anyway when he came over.
I mean, he was like 12 or 13.
Okay.
But then also he works for a Chinese company.
Yeah, I assumed.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a fucking dumbass
It's
question.
a fucking idiotic question.
I know. It's the whole podcast though. Where does your family stand on hot sauce?
We love hot sauce.
Big hot sauce?
We
you ever put it on
have-
the deviled eggs?
Huh?
Do you ever put it on your...
I don't actually. That's interesting.
I just brought it up because you have a bit where you mentioned deviled eggs.
Yeah, no, I do. I take deviled eggs to another level.
Dude,
I'll
I
even say my
love-
deviled eggs are better than my mom's.
Really? What are you doing? Like egg,
Well, because
mustard, paprika?
most people do vinegar for the acid, and I do lemon.
Interesting.
You throw a little bit of lemon juice in there, and then also fine chop some bacon.
Okay, that's fucking
Yeah.
level.
You can either fine chop it, or you can sprinkle tiny fine minced
bacon
on
bits sort of
top.
thing?
But
Yeah.
I think it's better to make it super fine and mix into the yolk. I like cooking.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What the fuck?
Yeah. But no hot sauce on the deviled eggs. But yeah, it's a very hot sauce centric family.
Yeah. I was wondering. There's like so many cultures that I feel like dig into hot food.
Yeah. At my mom's house, there's probably 5 to 10 kinds of hot sauce.
I was
going to
ask if there's like loyalty to one, or if it's like, no, we have to have
It's all over the place.
such an assortment.
And it's usually like small batch things that someone found somewhere. When we were kids, it was a lot of sriracha before people knew about sriracha.
Oh, you guys were the forefront.
Before anyone called it. This is in the 80s. No one knew it was just called hot sauce.
Yeah,
it was just called hot sauce. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is truly fascinating. Did you ever? Was there a certain point that you realized? Because I don't know if this was the same for you, but I grew up. I didn't have like a super multiracial family. My stepdad's Jamaican, but he is like for sure presents as a white person.
What does that mean?
He's clearly like had. I mean, that sounds so silly. Like
Presents.
at some point,
What?
like his mother looks more black than he does, but like the breeding of whoever his father was, he's like
He's just
white
super
man,
light
but
skin?
like with sort of like what would I think would be
I gotcha.
like black genetic features, like the shape of his like face, like his nose
Interesting.
and stuff, and he's got like the curly hair.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look.
So he's like second generation.
Yeah,
Jamaican.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's just like the skin got progressively lighter as the years, went by with, people mixing and mingling. But I grew up and I had a lot of, friends of different ethnicities, black friends, whatever. It took me a long time, like till maybe my mid 20s, to really be able to wrap my head around racism, because I was like,
Yeah.
no
like,
one's
what
like,
do you-
I'm not like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not, that's
yeah.
not a thing. Was there a certain point where you realized that or became concerned that your siblings might have to deal with things that you don't, or like be treated differently, like out in society?
Oh yeah, immediately. I mean, I didn't really understand racism, but I saw it early on. But they didn't seem to care.
Yeah.
They just took it as like, yeah, some people are idiots.
Yeah.
When I say didn't care, you know what I mean? They didn't let it weigh them down.
Yeah, they didn't like dwell on it. It was just sort of like, yes, some people are. I mean, and that's really kind of what I chalk it up to too, is that it's individually based, and some people are morons.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So my first,
and I mean, it's obviously like systemic with all the cops and everything, but like,
and we live in Southern Virginia, like near the sort of near the North Carolina border, about 40 miles north, maybe. When I was in 6th grade, I remember. So this is when my mom and stepdad are back together, engaged again, and they're gonna get married in a couple.
Happening.
Yeah, they're gonna get married in a couple months. At this point, aside from a couple years, they've been together since I was a baby, essentially.
Yeah.
And I remember, I had just a girlfriend in 6th grade, which means we'd walk to class together.
Yeah.
And
this is it.
Yeah, and I got a call from one of her friends. They were like, Kim can't talk to you anymore. Or she's breaking up. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, because you were at church and they saw that your stepdad is black and that's not right.
What?
And I was like, I wasn't hiding the fact that, like, what?
That's so weird.
Like, I was just so baffled. Like,
yeah, that you're like, wait, that doesn't even make sense.
I don't even understand this whole thing. And it was just kind of in shock that this would be a thing that someone, and then when you get older, you realize, man, this poor child was corrupted.
Yeah.
That's not her innate belief. That was implanted by some real ignorant people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then my brother Oak, first of all, he was worshipped because of his soccer ability.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so he was really worshipped in that regard, and he was like the most popular guy in school.
That's so funny.
Because of that, although he didn't have he wasn't an asshole like you would think of.
Yeah,
as like some popular
like the
guy.
Quote popular.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy who was like
Everyone
this
liked.
phenomenal athlete, and but around other people, you're not from around here, that kind of thing, and then he would say, and they were like, "What's your name?" And he would always tell people his name was Terry.
That's my stepdad's name.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Such a funny name.
Yeah. He has a relatively strong accent still, and he would say, my name is Terry, and they're like, "You're not from around here, are you?" And he was like, "No, I'm from Martinsville," which is just some like
just
fucking
some
town
town
down the road. Yeah.
You're not from around. God.
Yeah, and it's just so loaded, and like rednecks would start shit with him. I remember he got
so
into a couple
stupid.
fights on the bus from rednecks trying to bully him and stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah,
That's hard.
But so I was aware of it, from a pretty young age. I didn't see it.
You didn't see anything
that
like super
much.
Yeah.
Like I never heard anyone say the N-word.
Yeah.
Or anything like that until I was an adult.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's probably good.
That's better than not.
Yeah.
But the fact that, I'm sure it was said behind my back a lot.
Man.
Yeah.
Did you all play soccer? Because that's like a full soccer team.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. We are. Yeah, we even have a sub.
I know. It's crazy.
Like half of us, maybe no, a little more than half. Four of us played at a high level, and then a couple at like, decent level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High school, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome. I'm trying to think. Cocoa butter. Wait. Your joke about this is incredible.
I was on a radio show a couple months ago, and a guy just said some subject, and he pauses, and I said, "What?" And he goes, "Do the joke." I was like,
"Oh, dude, radio setups are the worst."
I was like, "What joke are you talking about?" And he goes, "Your joke about being married." I was married. And I was like, "Which joke, dude? You got to help me. I've got 15 minutes." And he goes, "The thing about the..." And I go, "All right, man.
That's so awkward when you get like a weird setup and you're like,
do the joke."
The amount of times I've later realized, because I've just, been coffeeed up on morning radio, being like, and be like, "Oh, they were trying to set me up to do my joke," and I just barreled right through that.
Not going to do it.
No, it's so painful.
Yeah, let's just talk.
Yeah, it's like, it'll be funny. It'll come out. It'll be interesting. We don't
Yeah.
need to. But you saying that, okay, so you guys can look him up. You can find the joke. Okay, first of all, do you still use cocoa butter lotion?
Daily, yeah.
Do you use it multiple times a day?
I do morning and night, yeah.
Because I have this theory.
I timed myself recently, by the way.
You timed?
I timed myself.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm dating someone who was talking about how long it takes to put lotion on in the morning.
Oh.
And I said, about 45 seconds.
That's so.
And I timed it 37 seconds, head to toe.
It feels like that.
37 seconds. Cocoa butter is the secret.
How tall are you? That sounds like you're sloppily putting on the
6'1".
lotion.
Absolutely not. After I timed her, I sent her the screenshot. And I said, "Watch me next time."
Forced her to watch you.
That includes face lotion, unscrewing the face lotion, using it, putting it back on. I don't use cocoa butter on the face.
Maybe I'm a slow person.
And then the cocoa butter. Because you got to do both arms at once.
At once? That's a great move.
You do both at once like this. Cocoa butter is thick. It slathers on and it spreads and soaks. Okay,
I need cocoa
you don't
butter.
have to keep rubbing it in. It's cocoa butter. And you do that, then you go torso like this. You do just do a few torso moves like this.
I wish you guys could see this. I'm getting a whole lesson.
Then you do the lower back, shoulders.
Get it all.
Then you do the hips. Or you do a pump between each, and then you do the hips, the legs. You're fucking out in 37 seconds.
Do you ever worry that if someone were to see you butt naked, right in the center of your back, you just have like an ash patch?
It could be. It could be there.
I have this theory because it's a very classic like stereotype that white people age terribly. I think it's because none of us learn about lotion.
It's 100% the thing. Yeah.
That is like, no, you're just not moisturizing.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I didn't learn about moisturizer till like my late 20s, and I was like, oh, this could have helped.
People don't moisturize and they don't drink water.
No, I know the fucking difference.
Everyone's doing the do.
I mean, I get it though. The amount.
You do?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I'm off the sauce.
Good.
But and then I tried to give up sugar and was doing like Diet Mountain Dew for a while because I do coffee now for my like.
Hilarious
caffeine.
that you were really a Mountain Dewer.
Oh, I mean, in high school, like I think for lunch almost every day I would do a Mountain Dew and
your school had Mountain Dew
and a Twix bar. It was Alaska. I have a picture of me somewhere thrown up against a Mountain Dew machine, just like holding it like it's
hilarious.
The love of my life. Yeah, no, we're fucking. I don't think. I mean, maybe they don't now. I don't know if maybe back then, which it wasn't that long ago, but they weren't aware of how truly awful it was. Like, put a soda machine in, or if they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I was playing like 3 sports at a time, and for lunch I'd have a Mountain Dew and a Twix bar and be like fucking jacked and good to go.
Isn't that weird?
Oh, yeah.
I would eat garbage and you'd be fine.
If I had a full like 20 ounce of Mountain Dew today, I would have to take a week off of everything.
Yeah. I recently went over my this is my nightly meal in college, by the way. At least 4 nights a week, up to 6, okay? Because you could use your meal plan on this stuff, okay?
Oh yeah, the meal plan.
So I was a bit of a psycho where I would be at the gym for like 3 hours, right?
Fuck.
Just basketball and weightlifting, and then
jacked.
And I would, but I was never. I was like 10 pounds more than I am now, but all muscle.
Hey.
And so I would come back, and every night I would do a dozen wings, 10 or 12, whichever it was.
Jesus Christ.
A double bacon cheeseburger.
Here we go.
Hold on, there's one. Oh, a personal pan pizza.
Fuck.
And a 32-ounce Freshens Oreo smoothie with a protein powder boost.
32-ounce
32
smoothie.
ounces.
That's huge.
And it's Oreo ice cream based.
Thick as
So
fuck.
we're talking like probably 5,000-6,000 calories.
I mean,
every night, and I never felt bad after.
No, I used to do.
What is that?
Is that youth? What is?
I guess it's youth metabolism.
I used to do, and it's nothing compared to what you just said.
And
thought
then
I did
gain
a lot-
weight.
I mean, no. I would do like 2 McDoubles and a large fry.
Yeah.
And eat it all as like a regular thing. And now I'm like, I think
That would kill you.
I really would.
Yeah.
But also it's like, I don't know, maybe how much is youth? How much is like, well, would I be a little bit okay if I was working out at that level still?
Right.
Because like, boy, have I gotten sedentary. It's almost a problem.
Yeah. No.
I keep being like, I'm going to do insanity. I am insanity. Wow. Okay. Are there any like weird off the top or like common assumptions or questions you get from people or from? Do people?
The weirdest question, I mentioned this in stand up sometimes, is people asking about the racial dynamic.
Yeah, and you're like, it's just a family.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no.
It's
so you guys
not a Spike Lee movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
So like, no one ever made fun of anyone for their. You guys were never like petty 15-year-old boys. Like, yeah, well. I don't even know.
No.
Anything I say right now would be so terrible.
It would be terrible. Yeah, no. There's none of that. Like,
you guys never had a dick measuring contest.
No, there's no.
I had to ask.
No, there's no. Like, I mean, there. Like the only things would be like, if you're talking about chitlins, you know who in the family has eaten chitlins. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Dong.
Actually, I think Oak, but he doesn't like them. And my
tried
brother Brent
them?
White. No. Alan. So like half of my black brothers like them, and half are like, this is fucking disgusting.
That was not a household item.
My white brothers and I would never eat chitlins.
Okay.
Scrapple's another question altogether. I'm the biggest Scrapple fan.
Oh, Scrapple?
Scrapple.
Someone's told me about this recently, and I can't remember what it is.
Scrapple is made from the parts of the pig that didn't make the cut for hot dogs.
Oh, no.
But you cook it like sausage, and it is amazing.
I'm actually afraid of how much I would probably love that based
It's
on how
incredible.
much I love hot dogs.
Oh, my God. If you're ever somewhere that has Scrapple, it comes in like a brick, right?
Oh.
You slice it off and cook it like a sausage patty. Make it crisp on the outside, a little, still a little tender on the inside.
Scrapple.
I mean, even the name. The number 2 ingredients, snout and hoof.
Pork rinds. Where do you stand on pork rinds?
I liked them when I was a kid. I can't eat them anymore.
I think
it bothers me now.
I've tried to like them out of like just gross assimilation to my friends, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Sausage
I
on
like
the other
pork.
hand.
Yeah. I'm just asking you about foods. I'm like, Chinese food, Vietnamese food. I mean, I don't know if I have any other questions. Have you ever have you ever brought I mean, you've been married, you've brought someone home to your family. Does your whole family ever still get together?
Yeah.
Wow, because trying to organize a small family feels hard.
It's a little tough now that everyone is like married. Well, I'm not anymore, but
you got out.
Like once people are like married and stuff, it's hard to figure out what holidays people are gonna be or whatever.
Yeah.
But whenever we're all there, it's awesome. Now it tends to be like, you'll have 8 one time and 6 the next time and 10 the next time.
Wow.
Every now and then it's all 11 of us though.
Damn. Are you still Catholic?
No.
I get it.
Only a couple of us are.
Really? You guys didn't all give up on God in that house? Do you feel like, okay, that many kids?
I think all but like, let's see, maybe I have one brother who goes to mass. I think it's more about his wife than him.
That's funny.
I think that, and then one of my brothers may go sometimes, but he's not into like the dogma or like the church itself.
Oh, really?
He's just more into the philosophy.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of where my parents are now too, but then they still go because they've always gone.
It's just part of their routine now. It's
yeah,
just like what you do.
Yeah. I think they're not that into the institution.
Yeah,
with all the scandals now.
I mean, it shocks me that.
But they do so much charity work, so it's like,
hearing that is like what a nice light on the Catholic Church that you don't hear about anymore these days. That it's just like, why are you getting all them boys? It's like, look at all the boys they saved.
Yeah. They also fed and clothed those boys. All right. They didn't just. You feed, you fuck them, you clothe them. All right.
Yeah, it wasn't all bad. There was food.
Yeah. They got a nice jacket.
Hey, you got the body of Christ and the body of
Father Paul.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, how do you feel about having kids? Having lived with that many children?
Yeah. I'm kind of in a place where if it's right, I'm down.
Do you think you'd want a lot of kids?
No.
If you had to obviously you love your whole family and you love everyone in it.
Yeah.
But if someone were to be like, what do you think is like the right amount of kids? For the max amount.
Well, okay, look. I think 3 is probably the max. If you like, we're talking like, you know,
standard
your nuclear. Yeah, I'd say you want to max out at 3.
Yeah.
Look, all right. 1 is great because then you're having your population impact as a couple.
We did it.
Yeah, let's everyone just cut down on this population. It's too much.
Truly.
You run the risk of a crazy only child, which is I thought all only children were nuts.
Yeah,
and then you find out it's not. Yeah, it's not actually the case. It depends on the parents.
Yeah, it's like dogs.
Yeah, yeah. It's like if exactly if the parents
teach you.
Don't let you hang out with other kids and you're hanging out with adults from the age of 3. Yeah, you're gonna be awful.
You're gonna be fucking terrible. Yeah.
But if you're hanging out with your cousins, your neighbors, and shit like that, and you're socialized, you're gonna be good. So 1 sounds good like that, and then I think 2's probably you're gonna have a good balance. 3, you're still good. Once it gets to 4, it's just a lot of work for the parents.
Hard to do. Yeah, it's hard to give everyone the attention they need and not fucking lose all your hair.
Yeah, and another thing with my family, the whole attention thing, is people lose sight of that. It's like our age span is so wide.
So that makes a difference. Yeah, with the 4, much younger.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, my oldest brother was born in 72. My youngest brother is 22.
Good.
Yeah,
heavens.
yeah. So 72 to 97.
So you never felt like you were...
Or 96 maybe.
Oh, wow. You never felt like you were not getting the attention you...
No, our parents never missed a game, a concert, anything like that. No, they would never.
They have a time machine? That's amazing.
Yeah, that's just the product of the age range.
Yeah, wow, good for them.
Yeah.
And you never felt like you had to... And I guess you were the end of that shift of children, so it wasn't like you had to raise anyone or feel like you had to jump in.
Mm-mm.
All right, well, this has been very fascinating. Oh, question from one of my listeners.
Let's hear it.
How accurate to growing up in a multiracial family do you feel like This Is Us is? Have you seen that show? I haven't even seen it. I'm the worst.
I've only seen 1 scene. It was the worst.
You're like, this is terrible.
I don't know.
This is not us.
There's this scene where, oh my God, you gotta look it up. It was like, it's like a nursery rhyme that the family says. It's like, you're the one who somethings. I'm the one who first came. It's like first came something. Hold on, I gotta find this. You're gonna vomit on your microphone.
Oh my God, I can't even believe it. It's just like next level corny.
You're gonna lose a listener from this. This Is Us. First came. Oh yeah. Oh God. Here it is. Oh, it's so fucking disgusting. All right. All right. Are you ready for this?
Oh God, yes.
And this is an official tweet from the This Is Us account.
Dear fucking God.
Neither of us are ever getting. Well, I'm definitely not getting a writing job there. Oh, I wouldn't want it. Okay.
I mean,
they say this.
They would probably want you. If there's a place you could just shoehorn your way into getting staffed.
Here's my thing: is I can't pretend I'm enjoying something I don't.
No,
I would roll my eyes the entire day.
Yeah.
And get fired.
I was just saying to someone today that it's like I would rather be financially up and down with only stand up waiting on a writing job that I love than take a writing job that makes me want to blow my head off.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to hear this.
So these are different people saying it. First came me, and Dad said, gee. Then came, and another person goes, then came me, and Mom said, we.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And then the third one goes, and then came me, and they said, that's 3. And then all 3 of them go, big 3.
Oh, wow. I just don't understand.
Don't you feel bad for the actors, honestly, a little bit? They had to sell that.
I got this great role. I mean, I've read at some scripts that I'm like, I'm astounded sometimes at how some actors can actually take stuff that's pretty terrible and make it okay.
I'm telling you, if I was on a show and the writing was that bad, I would tell my family I'm not on a TV show.
Yeah, I would never tell anyone. That'd be so funny if
it could be the biggest show on fucking TV.
You were the star of a TV show and you just never tweet about it. You never tell anyone.
No, I'm not on TV actually.
Aren't you that guy from? No.
No, I would never say those lines.
That's fucking that's a terrible show. That would also just be funny to do if you were like on a show where you were so recognizable. I've always thought that.
No, I'm not. It's not me.
No, I get that all the time.
You have the same name as the guy. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Crazy.
Isn't it?
Anyway, excuse me. I'm a banker. All right. Well, thanks for doing this.
It's my pleasure.
Where can people find you?
You can find me go to my website. It's ryanconnorcomedy.com. Connor with an ER.
Yeah.
And then I have
Don't forget the comedy.
Yeah, or else it's hardcore porn.
Yeah. Hardcore comedy.
Yeah. So I got all kinds of stuff there. Oh, my album.
Yes.
Check this. Okay. And then I'm on Twitter at RC Comedy, Instagram Ryan Connor 1. I had to give these different handles because the porn star took
Fucking
up Ryan
hot
Connor.
Bitch.
Fucking awful. But so my album. So all right. I guess I don't need to give the full background. I've been putting off recording a new thing for a while. For some reason, I just want to stockpile shit.
No, I am right there with you.
So I pulled all my shit down, and a label is re-releasing my album live from an old prison next week.
Hell yes.
Yeah. So guys, on next Tuesday, that's gonna be. When does this come out?
It's like it's supposed to come out in like 3 weeks.
All right, like
it's out right now.
2 weeks ago. Go to iTunes. Seriously, if like 50 people buy it, it goes number 1.
Yeah. I'll
like
still
that.
tweet about it.
I'm gonna buy it 50 times.
You guys will have already seen my tweets about it.
Yeah, so it's gonna come out. It looks. I'm pretty sure January 14th. I gotta double check with them, but it's gonna come out January 14th. It's called Live from an Old Prison. You can buy it there and support me, or you can just stream it like a fucking thief.
You cheap motherfuckers. You fucking Spotify.
But it's good. It's good jokes. It's an album. I recorded the album multiple years ago, but the jokes are timeless.
Yay! Oh my God. Well, that's awesome. I will make sure to share that with everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. All right. Bye, idiots.
Bye.
There you go. Ryan Connor and his big, diverse family of all boys. So many women left behind. No. What a fucking cool story. What a great guy. Honestly, just a fun dude. Super funny comedian. So definitely go check out that album. If you like the podcast and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Give us a rating and a review. I don't know why I say us. I feel like it's for all of us, but it's just me. Share this podcast with your friends because everybody's a little bit ignorant sometimes. See what I did there? That was ignorant. It was disgusting. Why did I do that to you? I'm so sorry. Am I? Oh, God. Big thank you to my League of Extraordinary Idiots on Patreon. John, Greg, Jean, Kathy, Terry. You keep the episodes flowing. I adore you guys. I'm so grateful. Head over to patreon.com/ignoranceisblessed. If you want to get involved in that, you can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram. I recommend Instagram at least to see the faces behind all the voices you hear. And then Twitter if you like being disappointed in the lack of tweets. If you want to, I don't know. What else is there? What have I forgot to tell you guys? Oh, please keep in mind that no guest is or claims to be a representative for every person who has a similar identity. Although I feel like you would struggle to find someone with Ryan's specific background. But he's just one person sharing his own experience and ideas to help us get a peek at how things look from his situated position in the world. If you have additional questions for Ryan or any guest, you have a topic you'd like covered, head over to the Facebook group. Ignorance is #BlessedIdiots on Facebook. It's a private group, a safe space for ignorance. You can ask ignorant questions. You can suggest guests. It's a discussion place to learn from people with different perspectives and just to have some laughs and hang out with some other people who are fans of this pod. Yeah. So other than that, just keep letting me know what you want to hear. I'll do my best to deliver. That's the best way to let me know. And keep asking questions. The more we ask, the more we learn, the more we know. And the more we know, the more we can look down on others who aren't as smart as we are. And isn't that the point? Thank you for listening. And thank you for being patient with my ignorance. See you soon, idiots.